You ever find yourself busy trusting your partner's loyalty to you, kind of poking around just to see how loyal they are, whether you can trust them? And if you do that in relation to their previous relationships, so their exes, then you might be experiencing what is called retroactive jealousy. Yeah, so feeling distressed about your partner's past romantic and sexual relationships rather than the possibility of losing them because there is a rival, there is a third party, and you feel that uh, basically you could lose them. Uh, However, I have to say that in RJ as well, you might actually be afraid that you would or you might lose them because let's say you're comparing yourself to their exes and you feel that you don't measure up. Now, obviously, when we are going through very anxious thoughts and intrusive images, then we want reassurance, right? We want to feel that we are loved, that we can trust our partner. So RJ is an immensely strong experience. Yeah, so it's not really possible to think yourself out of it or it is very difficult to stop when you're triggered. So some it obviously everything happens on a spectrum, but you might be experiencing something that is immensely overwhelming and yes, you want to get out of it. And of course, there are various behaviors such as interrogation or just really silencing yourself and withdrawing entirely, or maybe stalking and looking for evidence just to feel that maybe I am right, maybe I'm right that I'm feeling this way, that I cannot trust them, they are not actually loyal, they will I might or will lose them because maybe I don't measure up, or you might be even feeling disgust because if you have a lot of mental images about them with an ex, then the idea might bring up such strong emotions. And of course, when you're out of this cycle of RJ and you're not experiencing it, you're not triggered, then you will probably feel a lot of shame. But really, I want to say that you are not alone. A lot of people are actually experiencing it. And there is really nothing to be ashamed of because it is not something that you can control. It is an automatic reaction to these thoughts and images that your mind creates. Now, coming back to loyalty and building trust, unfortunately, the more we so when we are anxious about our relationship and we keep asking for our partner to reassure that they want to be with us, they love us, the past doesn't matter. Unfortunately, this behavior can erode trust for the other person because the more we ask, the more kind of they can end up running on empty, that they feel that they are giving and giving, but what they are giving isn't good enough. Uh, because if they say to you, you can trust me, I chose you, I love you, I want to be with you, that's why I'm with you rather than my ex or one of the exes. Uh, so if they are being questioned about it over and over and again, the the message to them is that, hey, whatever I say, whatever I do doesn't matter because they don't trust me. They don't actually listen to what I say, or they don't actually believe what I say. And that can erode trust. And of course, if we think about relationships through the model that the Gottmans have made, so the two wall-bearing, uh, uh, the two walls, load-bearing walls that keep your relationship stable, are trust and commitment. And if we constantly question the other person's commitment to us, and we are saying that, hey, I don't trust you, or that I don't think that you trust me, then it is it is something that can erode, can destroy our relationship. So how can you avoid it, and how can you start believing? One of the problems with RJ is that one of the problems with most problems that we tend to carry with us for a long time is that it's a symptom. So if you have a problem, like let's say you want to have some coffee and to put some milk in it, yeah? So milky coffee. And you go to the fridge and realize that you don't have any milk. That's a problem, right? So what you do, you solve it by going to the shop, getting some milk, coming home and making yourself milk coffee, or going out to the local cafe and buying a milky coffee. Yeah, so you have solved it. Uh, you drink your coffee, and all of a sudden it's not a problem. And of course, you can uh, solve it by going to the cafe and then to the shop, and tomorrow you will have milk at home if you want to have coffee. So that's kind of a simple problem. Uh, the problems that we can solve are usually simple, or if they are complex, then we solve the steps that lead to. So we follow a system to actually get to the resolution that we want. Now with RJ and let's say anxiety, so a lot of problems can be kind of a the symptom. Basically you can't really think yourself out of it, or get out of it, because there is something that is feeding it, and usually there can be several things. So there are beliefs, such as, for instance, there is high correlation between how we think about relationships, like whether we feel that our relationship is special if somebody has had a romantic relationship. So there's a correlation between this and RJ. So it is more likely for somebody to go through RJ, or to feel, to have this experience, if they have certain beliefs about what a relationship should look like. So what makes a relationship special, such as that they have never had ships before. But there are also other things, such as there can be insecurity, how we think about ourselves, what our uh, attachment style are, what our history of romantic relationships is. So there are lots of little things and conclusions and beliefs that contribute and basically experience our current relationship as a threat. Yeah, so there is some sort of a threat that we might lose our partner, that we might not measure up, or that we might have chosen the wrong relationship, and that is when we are triggered. Whereas when we are no longer triggered, then we are left with confusion that, oh, this is not, I don't recognize myself, this is not how I behave normally, this is not how I think normally, or this is not. So a lot of times there is a lot of shame about what you might have said, or what you might have just thought, or might have done, because it's not compatible with your self-image, because it's not compatible with the way you usually do things and what your values are. So, but uh, so you might be trying to think yourself out of it, because that's how we usually solve problems. But as long as you stay at the surface level, it's very difficult to do it. And the other thing is there are lots of conscious and unconscious elements behind it, a lot of conclusions and beliefs that you might not even be consciously aware of. And that's very difficult to access alone. But it is important to know that uh, we can build trust, we can build loyalty, and we can build trust in ourselves as well. So it is definitely possible to come closer and to feel close to your partner and to overcome RJ. But sometimes we cannot, and often we cannot do it alone without some sort of external help because we are trying to solve the issue at the wrong level. Uh, However, if you're trying to work on it, when the first thing that I would encourage you to do is to question the shame because unfortunately that puts another layer on top of it and another it makes it an even more unfortunate experience. And even if you are feeling ashamed about yourself, it will impact your partner as well. Because when we are deeply ashamed of something, we uh, we do need the community to go through shame as well. We need some support, and if you're going through it alone, it's just a burden. It's another burden. But unfortunately, if you have RJ, then at the moment, yeah? So don't think of it as a life sentence. Then uh, it's usual to behave in a certain way. Yes, and it's difficult to be in control, if at all possible, depending on where you're on the scale. So kind of bringing in forgiveness and acceptance, and then really thinking about what you can do, not relying on time will solve everything, but what you can do, what steps you can take, or who you could work with to eliminate this from your life.